Hey, everybody. For you, it may have been a few days, but for Rocky and I, it's only been a few whirlwind hours. I had enough time to eat some pizza, as they say, punch the bear, and watch a couple press conferences. Mm-hmm. Rocky Hardy, West Texas, yada yada. How you doing?
I'm alright, man. I mean, I'm a little lost and, disoriented, but, I just watched Devolver Digital's conference, so that only makes sense.
Okay, and we will get to them, but it felt like since there are so many press conferences this year, because there are extra press conferences that we weren't anticipating originally, that to, cover 6 in one episode probably would have not allowed room for them all to breathe. So we're here to dig deep on the remainder of the weekend's shows, which are Bethesda and Devolver Digital. Wild, man. So I guess we should probably start with Bethesda because they went first.
Yeah.
My first, just straight up opening with how I feel about it. I felt real good about their show.
Okay, walk me through that.
Okay. What's weird is that I kind of felt like that they were the other side of the coin for what we saw for the EA press conference. Because Bethesda did some stuff in the last couple of years which hasn't necessarily served them well. Mm-hmm. Which is having very, very short life cycles for customer awareness of games. You know, being like, hey guys, The Evil Within 2 is a video game. It'll be out in 4 months. Prey is a video game. It'll be out in 7 months. They have had these very, very short life cycles for customer awareness where they have gone from announcement to release in games with generally less than 8 months, usually far shorter than that. And despite the fact that, they even said that, they were the best reviewed publisher last year, that despite having the best reviewed games, it has not necessarily manifested in sales. And it probably has something to do with the fact that they have not been able to leverage enough time to create customer awareness. And this press conference saw them setting the table for a much longer length of time for creating customer awareness. Mm-hmm. And that felt like a change, but not one which had to be coupled with and we're bad people and we're a bummer and this all sucks. It wasn't that it didn't feel coupled with humiliation EA. And also there was a sense of joyful self-awareness to their press conference I really enjoyed. The fact that Bethesda is hey, internet, we see your whole Skyrim on everything joke. We are actually going to make the Skyrim on a refrigerator joke. And we're effectively going to eviscerate this comedy because we have Keegan-Michael Key playing Skyrim on an Alexa, and none of the jokes you will ever make with your friends on the internet will ever be funnier than this. So we have effectively murdered this comedy. That showed a level of self-awareness,
Yeah.
They seem to be happy with where they were, at the very least able to roll with where they were. When the fact that they were a game that was announced a couple weeks ago by our good friends at Walmart Canada, just they seem to be a lot more chill. They've spent the last couple years trying to prove that they're a major publisher. And I felt like this year they actually acted like a major publisher, but in a good way. If any of that makes sense. We're just talking about why I reacted to it emotionally the way I did. But that was kind of the general tent poles of my feels. What was your gut reaction to it?
I like Bethesda. I liked Todd Howard better at his own conference than at the Microsoft one.
Yep.
Because the Microsoft one, I don't know if he really wanted to be there, but it was more that, like, he was trying to stand in someone else's room.
Yeah.
And, like, in this one, he was a lot more comfortable. Which is obvious because it's his own, like, conference and whatnot. So he's definitely practiced this and whatever. I really liked the Skyrim bit. I had a lot of fun with it. Just, man, I mean, I'm really glad that they got Keegan-Michael Key. Because, like, you know, he's doing things, but he's not doing that much. You know what I mean?
Him whispering, "Eat all that cheese" to the Alexa.
Yes. He's just like, I have no potions. Like, what? Well, how much cheese do I have? And then, like, his like, wife or fake comedy wife, whatever, decides to show up and, like, remind him that he's lactose intolerant. Like, I guess completely oblivious to the fact that he's playing a game with Alexa. And he has to, like, whisper it because he doesn't want to just, like, I'm playing a game. Like, he's just not going to do that to her. Oh, it was for a lot of fun.
Yeah. Was there any part of you that thought that they were actually going to release Skyrim for Alexa? That, like, that was going to be the ultimate culmination of that gag?
No, I don't think that ever happened to me. Like, I was just watching it and I'm just like, you guys can fuck off. And then, like, they did, cause they did Alexa and they also said on pagers.
Yeah, Motorola pagers, Etch-a-Sketch, and Samsung smart fridges.
Yeah, and I was just like, damn, Skyrim on Etch-a-Sketch, y'all for real.
Yeah.
But I do agree that that's basically what's happened, that they have decided to kill this joke, that they're done with it, and the way that they do it is not by, like, getting mad at everyone, but by doing it better than anyone could have conceivably done it. Yeah.
Which, like, one of the jokes that I think we've already made this year is, like, the idea of, like, publishers standing out there and saying, "We hear you," in a very condescending way to their customers.
Yeah.
But I feel like Bethesda was actually kind of, like, taking business steps that show that they actually do hear their customers.
Mm-hmm.
Which is different, like,
of course.
Yeah, there's a level of market awareness there. And, I suppose we should just, like, start digging into their lineup and the show. Like, it's funny because, like, as big as, like, Microsoft's conference was, I don't feel like it had any kind of, like, the overt theatricality that you might expect of a conference of that scale. Like, there weren't any fucking orchestras or, Cirque du Soleil. So, like, leave it to Bethesda to be, like, the first gigantic moment of, like, E3-ass E3. It'd be like, and here's Andrew WK on your screen, and now here's some real nerds who are going to walk out and talk after Andrew WK does his thing.
Yeah, it really felt like they were hanging out. Like, even, like, starting from, like, the Prey bits.
Yep.
Also, like, they are definitely really stretched out towards the future. Like, before it was like, we got this game, and there's this company, and, well, like, this project, and this franchise is getting a new installment, blah, blah, blah. But, like, this time, we're getting 2 new Prey games, we're getting 3 new Wolfenstein games, and they finally told us what's going on with Fallout 76. And obviously, since they killed Skyrim, we have Elder Scrolls news, just for, like, the overhead. But Prey Moon Crash, which is just like a rogue like, where you're just trying to escape the moon, that's like full of mimics and other shit. And there are environmental, like, challenges that change per run, which is pretty cool. It looks neat, man. And they also have, like, a Prey multiplayer experience that's a lot like Evolve, where it's like 1v5, where there's 5 mimics and, like, 1 player, and 1 player has to find all the mimics.
Well, I feel like they had a lot of stuff, and I kind of want to dig through it because, I mean, like, they there was a lot of meat on the bone with this press conference. Like, they and just as a point of reference, I made sure to, like, write down how long was last year's press conference. Because I kind of wanted it as a point of reference. Last year's press conference from Bethesda was 40 minutes. That was it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they had said that this year's was going to be their biggest one yet. And I remember that one of the things I said going into our predictions show was that, like, just because they're saying it's the longest doesn't necessarily mean that there will be a lot of content to it. There are a lot of different ways they could jack us off. But I really don't think that that's what they did. so I kind of want to like dig through some of the various things that they touched on. I want to start with Rage 2, and I feel like we didn't get a lot actually about like the meat and potatoes of how Rage 2 is going to work.
Sure.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
That it still feels like it was mostly like feelings and jokes. Like, you know, there was that part where they like cut to the rubber mask that could sing, and they're like, check out this rubber mask that sings, and it like comes in the collector's edition. But I still don't know what the fuck. Like, I don't know what the fuck that is, Rocky. Like, I mean, I get that it's. I mean, okay, it's going to be an open world Mad Max inspired fun shooty game, but I feel like they have been light on details, and I don't know if that's intentional, especially since that thing is coming a lot sooner than some of the other stuff. Like, you'd think that they would start laying in with the details. I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't think anyone's really going to come for Bethesda over Rage 2. And I think that's it. Like, I think they knew what they needed to answer for. And they knew like where they could really hit us. Like, I didn't expect 2 new Prey games, but I think that's something that they wanted to do, and they decided to do it. They knew that they had to answer for Fallout 76, especially in the context of Fallout 4. They knew that if they mentioned Skyrim was going to be on yet another console, like there would have been riots in the streets. And while I do know that Rage 2 is coming, it would be prudent, as far as game companies go, to tell us more about it. I don't think anyone's going to roast them over it.
Okay.
And I think that's why they're light on it.
And I suppose they got time. I mean, their next major tentpole release is Fallout 76. And so I guess if they want to like let it breathe and then like hang back and wait for Fallout 76 to launch before they start digging in deep, I guess they can do that as long as they keep dribbling out shit. I guess the next thing they touched on after Rage 2 was Elder Scrolls Legends, which is their card game. And I feel like that's a game that they haven't done a great job of really managing the public face of. And they kind of acknowledged that because they said that they were going to relaunch the game. They're like, we're relaunching the game. And I guess that makes sense. Like, when I think about the fact that, like, I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan. Like, I'm really marked out for that series. I'm also a huge collectible card game fan. And I'm like, I'm the target market for this game. Like, I'm a guy who plays way too much Hearthstone and a guy who loves Elder Scrolls. Why don't I play this game? And I'm like, oh, like, that's a thing. Like, these guys realize that there's a whole market out there of people who they should have and they don't. So I'm curious to see, like, they didn't really talk a lot about like the meat and potatoes of what they're going to do to get people like me in there. But yeah. I think that like adding even more platforms to play it on is probably a good idea. I think that putting Elder Scrolls Legends on Switch is a huge positive call out. That was something that Tegan mentioned on Twitter, and I was like, right the fuck on. That's a really good call out, Tegan. Because the thing does have a touch interface on its screen, which is why I've been baffled that, Activision Blizzard has not put Hearthstone on the Switch, because it seems like a place where they could make a ton of money. But putting this card game onto the Switch seems like a huge win, and probably a way to get somebody like me to start fucking with it. But other than that, I don't have a lot of other thoughts. Just like, the last time that they acknowledged that the launch of a game failed and that they were going to relaunch the game, it worked, which was the Elder Scrolls Online. They said, hey guys, we understand that we shit the bed on this game. We're going to relaunch it. And now it's huge and makes them tons of money. Do you think lightning can strike twice for them with that?
Well, to be honest, I think relaunches are a very calculated move. And I might be wrong, but I haven't really seen a relaunch that hasn't gone well.
Evolve, that one went very poorly. Battleborn, that one went very poorly.
Okay.
Let's see here.
I didn't know either of those games relaunched. So
Yes, yeah. Evolve completely retooled into a free-to-play shooter, and no one played it. And Battleborn made all of its multiplayer components free and turned its single-player component into like a buy at a later time thing, which didn't increase their player base. But like, I mean, the ones that succeed are fewer and far between, but when it works, it really works. Like, I'm thinking like Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy XIV, games that very famously like just fucked up out of the gate, but were managed to like bring it back. I feel like it'd be a good time for Elder Scrolls Legends because, unlike me, there are some people who really got pissed off at the most recent expansion of Hearthstone. So, if there was ever a time to make a move, it is now.
Well, yeah. Ironically, that's also what helped Final Fantasy XIV. Like, a lot of people were really pissed off about WoW.
Yep.
And when they did A Realm Reborn, they cleaned up a lot of the nonsense. They fixed how mobs like interact with like towns and whatnot. They did a lot of things. They fixed a lot of bugs, and they made the experience a lot cleaner to play. They fixed a lot of the global cooldowns and whatnot.
Sure.
But yeah, like Elder Scrolls Legends could do really well if they relaunch. And I think one of the things that helps a lot of the games that do relaunch well is a change in personnel. Because if I remember correctly, like Evolve and Battleborn, like I assume someone got fired, but it wasn't very clear that there were new people working on it.
Right.
Like they just let them do it again.
They mentioned a couple new expansions for Elder Scrolls Online. And it was weird because my biggest reaction was like, man, why am I still not playing Elder Scrolls Online? Like now they're rolling out the werewolf stuff, so that'll be cool. Then
wait, I thought you hate werewolves, or do you hate vampires?
Well, you mean in the context of most things, or in the context of the world of the Elder Scrolls? In the world in the context of most things, basically fuck werewolves. Like, why the fuck are they wearing pants? Who are they fooling? But in the context of Elder Scrolls, werewolves don't wear pants. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But then, like, out of nowhere, announcing the sequel to Doom. Were you expecting that? Were we expecting that? I cannot recall if we were expecting them to announce a sequel to Doom this year.
I feel like we talked about it. I don't remember if we were like really expecting it.
Yeah. I think that they did the right move by saying that like the details for that are going to be at QuakeCon. Like that's the place to do it. Mm-hmm. That was where they had their big closed door demo of the first Doom that impressed all those people. So I think that like doing it again at QuakeCon is the right thing. It respects their fan base. So it's a cool move. Like, let people know it exists, and then let people know where to go. Mm-hmm. Then I guess they sang to Tegan's heart by announcing all that stuff for Prey. Jesus, man. Yeah. Were you expecting that much Prey stuff?
No, but, at this point, it kind of just makes sense. Because it was definitely acclaimed. Like, the people that played Prey really enjoyed it. And it was its own, like, cultural phenomenon. But it didn't do that well in sales. So the next thing to do is to make it bigger and more available. Because people already like it.
Yeah, like, going back to the earlier point about, like, building longer cycles of awareness. And, like, everybody who played Prey really liked Prey, just nobody played Prey. Mm-hmm. So I'm hope this is successful for them. Like, I kind of hope some of these just shifts in their business model work, because like it didn't really feel like any of the shifts in business model that they mentioned were like particularly deliberately predatory or shitty. So I'm willing to root for them to work out. Mm-hmm. So like I think the prop hunt mode sounds wild. Like, and playing like this prop hunt in VR sounds especially fucked up. Like, watch out. You're just hanging out. Uh-oh, look, here comes that coffee mug. He's going to get you. Like, God damn. What'd you think, man?
I liked it. Like, I think I'm more of a fan of the roguelike, but I do know that, like, streaming, like, Prey, prop hunt multiplayer is going to be a really big thing.
Yeah.
There's going to be a bunch of people, or even just people like streamers established, just running lobbies and just having people show up and try to spook them.
Yep.
Like, I think it's going to be a great time. I think a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like, it's weird because, like, I feel like the modes that they're introducing for Prey now are the kind of thing that could have really given this thing gas and given it legs last year when it came out. Like the roguelike and what's weird is that, like, I'm for the most part, like, I've run out of patience with roguelikes. Like, I'm definitely into, like, oh, well, another roguelike, you know, but I didn't really get this vibe off of that. Like, a lot of roguelikes feel like they're roguelikes because studios don't have a lot of money. This feels like a roguelike because that's what they want to do.
Right.
Yeah. I think giving away Quake Champions is probably a good way to get some people to play Quake Champions.
Be nice. Holy shit.
No, dude. I'm that is not me being a dick, or it is not me. I'm very serious.
Okay.
You know, keep in mind, like, the way that IO got so many people to, you know, fuck with Hitman is they give away the training level for free. Right. You know, and then, like, last year there was a while where they were giving away the Paris level for free. And then a couple months ago they gave away Sapienza for free. So, like, I honestly believe that giving away some or all of your game for free sometime is a good idea. Just ask those guys, who made fucking Car Soccer the game. You know, like, like, it can be smart to give away your game. So when I say this, Rocky, I'm not trying to be savage.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I think that I would probably make the window for keeping it longer than a week, but if that's what they want to go with, cool. Like, but yeah, like, hopefully they'll still fill up their servers, and I think that there's probably a lot more people who are comfortable with hero shooters now than there were a year ago or 2 years ago. You know, Overwatch is a lot more part of the cultural zeitgeist, and so if you have something which is a hero shooter, but is also, like, super fast and skill based, like Quake, it might be able to find a place to resonate now. And I guess they announced that Wolfenstein thing.
Dude, there's 3 Wolfenstein things. First of all, everyone, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus is coming out on Switch at the end of this month, June 29th. Second, there is a new Wolfenstein experience based on BJ's twin daughters called Wolfenstein Youngblood, where the twin daughters are just fighting more Nazis. And there was a third one. Oh, Wolfenstein Cyberpunk, I believe. And that's a VR experience where you play as the hacker character from the new Colossus. What's their name?
Oh, God. Wyatt? No, not Wyatt. Shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if it means anything, the only one I really cared about was Wolfenstein Youngblood, because that means that you're rampaging through fucking Paris in 1980, and it looks all new wave as shit. And the idea of being able to play through the thing entirely in co-op. And as long as there isn't a horrible scene of dog murder in the first 5 minutes, I'm here for it.
I feel you. I'm just really excited that the the developers on stage is like, yeah, we're putting out 3 new Wolfenstein projects in order to bring the message of fuck Nazis to every platform possible. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm with you for that alone. If I had to. If it's just, man.
Yeah, I turned to my wife before their press conference started, and I was like, "How long until somebody says fuck on stage?" Because like that's a Bethesda show, and I was really surprised because generally they're able to get one in within the first 10 minutes. So, congratulations, Bethesda. I believe that 45 minutes is a new land speed record for the most time that you've been able to hold off on saying fuck. Congrats.
All right.
But I'm glad that you managed to get, Todd Howard to say fuck later. That was a special gem. But yeah, man, I'm more in the mood right now for very cool, very stylish, very period heavy co-op games. I wonder what could make me feel that way. I wonder what made me feel that way, Rocky.
I'm pretty sure it's a way out.
Yeah. But the idea of being these two cool chicks just absolutely doing a Nazi murder in 1980 Paris sounds fun as all get out.
As long as there's no dog murder.
Yeah. Look, Bethesda, I give you one job. Do not murder a dog in the first 5 minutes.
To be honest, since we're in Paris, it might be a cat.
Rocky, don't fuck with my emotions.
Okay, so guys, also, Bethesda gave us some more information on Fallout 76. Jason Schreier was right. It is an online multiplayer game. It is not an MMO, and your progression is preserved, regardless of who you actually end up playing with. You are one of the first people to basically leave the shelters once they're opened, and you're supposed to go and rebuild, repopulate, all that shenanigans. And there's a lot of stuff going on, including nuclear missile silos that you can take control of and collect the nuclear codes for, and you can just launch nukes at different places in the game, which also explains why even later in the Fallout series, there's no real rebuilding that's been done, and it's because the early survivors, their first inclination was definitely to just nuke each other. But the game is technically instanced, but your game is basically you and a couple dozen other people on the same server. There aren't really NPCs anymore. All characters in the game are just PCs. And so you can run into other people and you can do quests together, or you could shoot at each other until there's no one left. That's totally an option. So the game is soloable, but it is also potentially co-op. It just depends on how you want to play the game.
So, I've got so many questions. When I think about the stuff that I like about Bethesda Game Studios, it is big worlds filled with hundreds and hundreds of NPCs doing wild shit. And I can think of so many memorable Bethesda NPCs. And the idea of just running around a server with 36 dickheads does not sound like what I know and love about Bethesda Game Studios, man. The idea of there being no and the thing is that I feel in order for this to feel like a Bethesda Game Studios game, there have to be some NPCs somewhere. And so, I don't know if that is true, and they just wanted to de-emphasize that, so that way they could talk about the structure of this game. Because if everybody is a PC, then that's going to make the completion of certain types of quests just, fundamentally impossible. There will be things that you just won't be able to do because you won't be able to structure that kind of quest, really. You can't get a fetch quest if everybody else is a PC. You can't do an escort mission if everybody else is a PC. Because who's going to assign these quests?
Well, okay. At the very least, I think there is one NPC, but I'm not sure. Which is the overseer, the voice that talks to you when you're leaving the shelter, because that's how you actually get your quest, at least from what I can tell. But the actual trailer, unless you count like the robots, they didn't have a single NPC in it. Like, there were definitely enemies, there were other PCs, but you're basically just kind of running around West Virginia by yourself. And you have like a quote, like a disembodied voice in your head, but that's clearly the overseer. And I'm not sure if that's someone that's alive or if it's like a series of recordings or some sort of AI, but it doesn't seem like there's any NPCs. Like, you may actually, I don't know if you'd actually, if a escort mission would fit in this context specifically. But I mean, you could definitely do fetch quests, like, because you need resources to like build things and whatnot.
Yeah, so I don't want to play a game where I get quests that are like, locate 14 lumber. I don't want to locate 14 lumber, Rocky.
Sure.
And I do want a story. And I just don't know how, like, I feel like there's games that have an ability to tell a story, with like environmental storytelling, like very famously, like I know that like people will laud the item descriptions in Dark Souls, but that's traditionally not how Bethesda has told stories. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. What's your gut tell you about this one?
Well, to be honest, Fallout isn't really my vibe, so that's not especially helpful at the moment. But it looks cool, and I understand that what they're doing is a departure from what they normally do.
Right.
And I do know that a lot of people that enjoy Fallout enjoy it because they like cheesing, pissing off, or befriending NPCs. And that's probably not a thing that's going to happen here. But I think you could do that with people, which may add a different dimension. There are definitely going to be shitheads that you interact with that will shoot you on sight. But you might end up getting some different types of interactions, like less DayZ and maybe more like The Division.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I feel like the beta that they have planned, which I guess I haven't mentioned yet, is probably something that will give us the first real look at how this thing actually works. Mm-hmm. So, you know, like, here's hoping that we get like a better picture from that. Mm-hmm. God, and Todd Howard had a lot to say.
He really
tonight.
did.
He really did. Like, I thought he was just going to trot out there and be like, all right, guys, Fallout 76, fuck off, we'll validate your park and go home. But then the Elder Scrolls Blades, which, wild, man. Wild.
Yeah, it looks really good, especially on mobile. It reminds me of like the technical jump in, oh god, what was that game called? It was on iOS as well, and it was like a hack and slash like sword dueling game. Like, it won some awards. I want to say it came out sometime between 2006 and 2008.
Whatever it is, I'm not immediately thinking of it.
Yeah, well, it was like, basically, it was one of those games that you look at and you're like, I wasn't sure we could make games that look this good on mobile. And like the touch controls, they seem fine. Like, they seem like something that you could reasonably do without like, you know, banging your head against the wall. Like, the slashing looks intuitive. You pick up items by touching them. You got your health, mana, and like, I don't know what the third bar is actually. Red, green, blue. And then you get
stamina.
Like endless stamina. Okay.
Yeah.
You get like endless dungeon crawl. You get PvP, and like the town is like your story mode and whatnot. And it all looks really cool, man. Like, I mean, I don't own an iPhone, and I probably won't buy one for this game, but I'm sure whoever does have an iPhone is gonna have a good time with it.
Well, they did mention, like, it was only casually near the end of their conference. Not the conference, toward the end of the presentation on this game. Like, they definitely opened were like iPhone. But then they were like, this is also going to be on PC, and it's also going to be on high-end VR, and it's also going to be on low-end VR.
Oh yeah, they did say so. Like you could play it like in portrait mode versus someone like in VR.
Yep,
like all of Fortnite.
Yep, and they're like, and you can also play it on every console. They're like, and we're releasing this on all consoles. Like they specifically called out PS4, Xbox One, and Switch all by name, and then eventually at the very end, we're like, and Android.
Right.
Like they're going to put this everywhere they can stick it. Which means I think they're probably real fucking confident in it. Like if they're going to put this everywhere, they like that's a lot of development resources. If we just talk about like manpower needed for porting something to that many different platforms requires a lot of bodies. And even if they aren't your bodies and you had to outsource them, that's still a lot of bodies.
True. But I think what that tells me in particular is that the game itself doesn't seem that dense. That like, I mean, we already know there's 3 main modes, which is like, the town, PvP, and the procedurally generated like infinite like dungeon or whatever. And I'm not sure that it's more complex than, say, even the Battle Royale map of Fortnite. Like, I know they say that the dungeon goes on forever, but I don't know how long that actually means or, like, what kind of abilities and, like, powers you'll have access to over that time. And PvP, like, I mean, it's a single arena, and I assume it'd be pretty small, given, like, how the game works. And I have no idea how big the town would be, but if they're porting into that many things, like, reasonably, to me that tells me that this game isn't that big, if that makes sense. It's not a comment on its quality or how fun it'll be to play, but I think the size of the game is definitely contained in a way that they are confident about porting it to so many places.
I think that it's one of those things where, like, if the loop is satisfying, if the core gameplay loop feels good, like, if it feels good to do a run in the dungeon, or if it feels good to upgrade your town, like, I think that you're absolutely right that it's probably not something which has a great deal of depth. But if we get down to brass tacks, Animal Crossing doesn't have a great deal of depth, but you know what feels real good? Animal Crossing. Which is why, like, when Animal Crossing for mobile came out, quite a few of us were like, hey, fuck right off. This feels terrible. So I think this is kind of like the same kind of thing. Like, if it feels good, that'll go a long way. Like, if I could sit around and murder some dudes in a dungeon and have it, like, feel like I'm fucking with an Elder Scrolls game, I might be up for that for a little while. I'm curious as to what the monetization looks like, because they did mention it was free.
Yeah.
So that does have me real cautious.
It's probably just going to be something like an energy system.
Ugh.
Like, I mean, short of like pay to win, like arena / dungeon crawling, like I don't even know how you would pay to win in an infinite dungeon. Like, I think you would just get more like energy or like respawns, or maybe you can like get resources to like upgrade your town faster.
Yeah.
Like off of a cash shop, but I don't know.
Then I guess Todd Howard closed out their show by making one announcement, which I think everybody assumed was inevitable, and giving just enough to have people like me, like, all aflutter. And then another announcement, which, like, if you hang around on the video game corners of the internet, you also thought was inevitable. But was probably a surprise to some people. So the former is Elder Scrolls 6, the latter is Starfield. What were your feels on these?
Starfield looks dope, and I like them branching into, like, space sci-fi as opposed to just, like, standard Earth sci-fi. Elder Scrolls 6 is just more like it's about fucking time, because it's been about a decade that we spent with Skyrim, I want to say. I might have that wrong.
2011.
Yeah, okay, 7 years. So yeah, about fucking time. Like, for us to hear about it, like, Jesus. But we know nothing about either. We just know that they're in, like, the ether, which is, I guess, all they really need to do right now. Like, so that's cool.
Yeah, and this is also definitely represents, like, a marked shift in the way Bethesda talks about games, because, like we were talking about at the beginning of this segment, previously Bethesda has been like, here is a game which is coming out in 5 months. We would ask for you to enjoy it. And that led for stuff like Evil Within 2 being incredibly well reviewed last year. Everybody who played Evil Within 2 really liked it, but then nobody played the Evil Within 2. It's funny that, like, the moments where they, like, start to, I guess, make these decisions to create awareness further out is, with the exception of Starfield, for stuff that I feel like is largely very safe bets for them. There is no universe where the Elder Scrolls 6 does not sell a zillion copies, except a universe where the world burns and we die in horrible nuclear holocaust, and all that is left is Max Powers selling Neo Geo minis.
Well, luckily, that's not actually a common outcome for us, so I think we're going to be all right.
But, yeah, I am definitely filled with anticipation and wonder with, for Starfield. Like, I want to know more.
Oh, and Fallout Shelter's free now. Well, it was free before, but now it's on PS4 and Nintendo Switch,
yep.
And also free.
And there was one other press conference tonight, Rocky.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a, I think press conference is a strong term at this point.
Art piece?
Yeah, let's go with performance art.
Yep.
But that reminds me, for anyone who did already see it and already know what we're about to talk about, the officially unofficial loot box coin from Devolver Digital is currently valued at $150. That's where we're at.
Yep. I also just refreshed because I like time to dive in. Man, so they definitely had, like, a lot to, like, you know, like I said on our last episode, my favorite press conference from last year was Devolver's 2017 press conference, because Jesus Christ, it was fucking ridiculous. So I didn't know there was any way they could equal it or top it, but I think they equaled it.
Yeah.
You know, it was banana pants. Man, so I guess first off, what are your general feels on Devolver's press showing?
I feel like Nina Struthers cursed a lot more than she did last year, which I'm not sure how to really feel about, because one of the more entertaining things about her was, like, the outright contempt that she had for the audience and, like, people in the industry. And while the contempt seems a bit more open, it doesn't feel as pointed this year. And the games that they showed are still thoroughly wild, and I'm really happy with that. I think we only got... No, we got 3 innovations, right? I can't remember what the first one was, but we also had, like, the Devolver Digital classic system.
You mean this is just a Sega Dreamcast, which has been painted pink? Oh, Metal Wolf Chaos? Oh, man. So, man. And... like, I feel like there was a lot more actual game content in this year's. It's weird. Like, there was a lot more stuff in this year's Bethesda show, which I don't see as a bad thing. It's a weird thing to say. Like, I was worried that the game content would get in the way of an E3 press conference. But I feel like they struck a good balance between bullshit and game stuff. So, where do you want to start? The bullshit or the game stuff?
Well, I think we should start with the bullshit. We just weave it in like they did at the show.
Okay.
I can't remember the first thing they actually did. I just remember her showing up and screaming at us. They used new stock footage this year, which was cool.
Yeah.
They shouted out the guy who was clearly pretending to play a scripted demo.
Yeah.
That was done months in advance. But I can't remember what their first innovation was before the loot box coin.
Was it the Devolver Digital Classic Mini?
No. I feel like it was what came out before they told us about Scum Season 2.
Gosh, I thought that was the Classic Mini.
No, because the Classic Mini came out after they showed us My Friend Pedro.
Okay. At which point, Margaret then beat Nina Struther's son with a baton.
Oh, that was her son? I didn't know that. Wait, is that why? Did he say mother when she called his name before?
Yeah, he said, yes, mother.
Oh, I thought he said Struthers for a second.
Yeah,
That's her name? No, that mixed me up. That makes sense.
Yeah. Good stuff. I think as far as, like, ridiculousness, there was a certain hologram that...
that was so good. And he just kind of walks in, he just looks around like, what's going on? And then that was it. Oh, fuck.
It was that, like, I couldn't tell, and I'm glad that nobody explained it. I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be a hologram or if it was supposed to be like a Jedi ghost in, like, Star Wars, like, here's the Force spirit of Dave Lang.
I mean, I think it still had scan lines.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that was a hologram. And they are in the Dave Lang Memorial Conference Center.
Yeah. The RoboCop bit at the end, holy Jesus. When the guy from last year's press conference shoots up Nina Struthers.
True.
And I'm like, are they doing RoboCop? Because, like, they show her, like, getting hit by the bullets. And I was like, this feels like it's framed exactly like RoboCop. And then she falls back into the model of Detroit built entirely out of white models, just like in I'm like, oh my God. They've built a model of, like, New Detroit behind her. I'm like, this is perfect. This is fucking perfect. And then the part, like, building Cyborg Nina, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I don't know how they keep on, like, knowing my heart, Rocky, but they know my heart. So the games, like the actual business of the Devolver Digital show. What'd you think?
Scum 2 isn't my game, but it seems cool because, like, Supermax Survival is definitely, like, a vibe that like the hardcores are digging for. Like, they really want it. I think Scum 2 still has, like, I think Scum, like, originally had some, like, crossover appeal between the people that played Fallout and the people that played Ark Survival Evolved.
Right.
So Scum Season 2 should do well. And the second one, my friend Pedro looks absolutely bananas. Like, that wasn't on purpose. I'm sorry. There's bananas in the game. Whatever. But, like, it's just this crazy-ass gun ballet with, like, I hope that music is actually there the whole time and not just part of, like, the conference. But, like, how all of your movements are just, like, fucking spinning and, like, flipping and, like, sliding down, like rope lines and shit and just flying into windows. And you get all these, like, crazy props to use, like gas cans and fucking frying pans. Like, what is this, man? What's going on?
The tossing the frying pan up just to shoot off of it. Like, oh my God. I think it's possible Little P came out. Like, just a little pee. Like that, it just looked glorious. And my little asshole brain sitting there watching the trailer was like, man, this would be fucking vital on Switch. And then they get to the end of the trailer and they're like, coming to PC and Switch. And I'm like, yep. These guys know their market. They absolutely.
Let's go.
Yep. I'm like, these guys know that, like, Brian wants to be sitting there on the shitter, like, doing all the bullet ballet murder. Like, just, It's weird, because a lot of times when you see a game that has been influenced by something, it'll feel derivative in a way, but, like, I feel like I can see the influence made by a Hotline Miami here, but I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm just seeing something which is just, stealing its DNA and just reserving it. Like, this is definitely informed and influenced by it, but is not just rehashing it or reformulating it. Like, this is a different kind of feel. Like, very, very exciting. Like, I'm eager to see how they execute stuff like shooting in two different directions at once, which is a thing that you see tons of in that trailer.
Yeah.
Or, like, interacting with objects that you've thrown at the same time as throwing, shooting in two times. Like, how do you coordinate shooting in two directions at once and throwing and kicking and swinging on, like, rappel lines? Like, it looks gorgeously, gorgeously complicated, and I can't wait to find out more about, like, exactly what kind of game that is. You could tell me right now that game is a runner, and I would believe you. It would seem like the coolest runner ever, but I would believe you. Also, like, I guess proof that you can do business development on Twitter happened at their press conference. Like 2 years ago, Devolver tweeted at From Software. They're like, yo, like, whatever we can do to help get Metal Wolf Chaos out, we're happy to help you do. And apparently that's now happening. Like, it's crazy. Like, Rocky, have you ever dived into the world of, like, watching, like, Metal Wolf Chaos cutscenes on YouTube?
No, I don't know anything about it, actually.
The game is fucking crazy. Like, it's a game that came out only in Japan, but for some reason, all of the VO is recorded in English. And it's all about America, and it's all about mechs in America, and, like, weird nationalism. So, it's exactly what you think, and it's exactly what the world needs right now. And Devolver is releasing this From Software game, like, from 2004 on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Like, this kind of feels like a strong get for them. They've been teasing it for a while. Like, they even teased it earlier in the same press conference when, like, the guy's just like, this is a Sega Dreamcast painted pink with a Metal Wolf Chaos disc in it. That game only came out in Japan for Xbox. Like, and they've been teasing this for so long, and I'm just like, oh my god, like. And so when they did that bit during the conference, I'm like, this is the classic, like, asshole for a game developer comes out on stage wearing a t-shirt and, like, of course, you guys just admit you're putting out Crash Bandicoot, come on. And this has been going on now for, like, a year that they've kept on teasing this shit out. So I'm glad it's happening. It's banana pants that Metal Wolf Chaos is coming out. And I guess I'm going to buy this weird 14-year-old banana pants game for my Xbox.
Hey, it gets updated graphics. I don't know how updated they are, because once again, I've never really looked at Metal Wolf Chaos before. But, like, I don't know. They said they had updated graphics. It might be good. Who knows?
Also, it's very clear that, like, Metal Wolf Chaos XD, it's like, all right, come on, guys. Like, you're doing the XD. Like, all right, okay, all right. I'm good with it. So, Sunday's over. Do you have Sunday's over, half the conferences are over, 4 down, 4 to go. with 4 conferences done, any clear winner for you so far, Rocky?
I mean, Microsoft is still winning, I think. Because I think they still had a better showing than Bethesda. Because while, to be fair, there are a handful of games by Bethesda that I can appreciate but don't actually play, there are a lot of people that are really unhappy with what's going on. Just already, like in the past, hour since they've been down or whatnot. Devolver is truly wild, but I think while the intensity is still there, some of the magic that was granted by the surprise of the initial conference is missing.
Yeah.
And, fuck EA, because always fuck EA. And I know Square Enix is the first slot tomorrow, and I don't trust them. They are still dirty liars, and I don't feel like listening to anything they really have to say. Sony is doing some new shit that I want to see more of, and Nintendo knows what I want from them, and we'll just see if we get it. Like, I still have to talk to my psychic and my witch and my priest and my rabbi to see what we could do to try to get a new Animal Crossing, but who knows, man.
Now, sandwiched in between Square Enix and Sony tomorrow is Ubisoft.
True.
Who, aside from Devolver, had my actual favorite conference last year. And it feels like they mostly delivered. They had a good-ass year.
They did have a really good year.
Like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, fucking incredible.
Oh, wait, is the DK expansion out yet? Or is...
It has not yet dropped.
Okay, they're definitely going to talk about that.
Yeah. They're probably going to talk about that spaceship game that they're doing, that Toys to Life game. Mm-hmm. God, what is the name of that? I was about to say Starfield. Like, nope, it's not Starfield.
Not Starfield, no.
God, what is the name of their Toys to Life game?
It's Starlink.
Starlink Battle for Atlas. That's it.
Yeah.
So they'll probably talk about that. They're going to talk about that new Assassin's Creed.
We get more on Division 2.
They'll probably admit that there's a new Splinter Cell. Only you don't feed Michael Ironside enough hot dogs to convince him to record more voiceover just for doing some missions for that like Ghost Recon Wildlands game. Like, there's a new Splinter Cell, which probably makes sense because it's not like Konami's ever going to make another fucking Metal Gear Solid game, so that's wide open territory for them to take advantage of. But yeah, I have high hopes for Ubisoft's conference. And I think that for Square Enix's, like, I don't know, man. At this point, I really do believe that Kingdom Hearts is coming out in January, but that remains to be seen. We'll get more details tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But I feel like for the most part, this first 2 days has been pretty good.
True.
With the exception of the goddamn near funeral-like quality of the EA conference.
Well, I mean, it's better than their empty drum line. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Also, I miss Janina Gavankar. I hope she's okay.
Yeah. I did not even check to see what her Twitter looked like today. Or yesterday, because like it's one of those things where it's like, yep, a year ago everything was full of promise, and now everyone hates that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everybody, this is Impossible Coin. Rocky, you want to tell the people how to engage with our content?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So, guys, I'm not sure if you already know, but our stuff is on iTunes, it's on Stitcher, and it's on Google Play. We'd appreciate some reviews. Just let us know how we're doing. Talk shit, whatever. It's cool. And if you leave your review or shit talk on iTunes, Brian owes you a biscuit. That's the deal. You can't let him get out of it. Make sure you get your biscuit. There's also music at the beginning and end of this podcast, produced by our friend Big Sach. You can find his work on soundcloud.com/Big Sach NJ, or you can follow him on Twitter at Hillary_Swank. We also have a Discord and we stream twice a week. I have Mondays, with usually Monster Hunter Mondays, and Brian has Fridays, and he's been playing Hearthstone. But if you want to see us on different days, let us know, and we could possibly make that happen for you. And also, I just wanted to remind everyone that the officially unofficial loot box coin from Devolver Digital is still valued at $150.
And late breaking news, Rocky. I did just check to see what Gina Gavankar is doing right now. She is at E3. She was hosting some like after conference shows for IGN, and it looks like there was some content on IGN stream which caused Disney to pull it down.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I will try and find some more details out about that so that way we could talk about it on our next E3 episode. Yeah, guys, it's E3. It's real. It's that time of year. I think it's probably a little bit more fun for us than Game of the Year, but probably a little bit tougher too. So hang in there. It's a fun couple of episodes, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Later.
It's official.